Swedish King Carl XVI Gustaf says coronavirus approach has failed. Sweden, which has never imposed a full lockdown, has seen nearly 350,000 cases and more than 7,800 deaths, a lot more than its Scandinavian neighbours. Prime Minister Stefan Lofven said he agreed with the King's remarks. In the programme, the King says, "I think we have failed." When asked if he was afraid of being infected with COVID-19, the King, who is 74, said, "Lately, it has felt more obvious, it has crept closer and closer." Instead of relying on legal sanctions, Sweden appeals to citizens' sense of responsibility and civic duty, and issues only recommendations. Sweden has never imposed a nationwide lockdown or the wearing of masks, and bars and restaurants have remained open. However, earlier this week, schools across the Stockholm region were asked to switch to distance learning for 13 to 15-year-olds for the first time as soon as possible. The measure was announced in response to rising COVID-19 cases. Sweden's state epidemiologist, Anders Tegnell, in November explained the strategy relied on a combination of legal and voluntary measures. He told the BBC that this was, in the Swedish context, the combination that we really believe is the best one. According to an official report released earlier this week, the strategy failed in its effort to protect the elderly in care homes, for which the government has admitted responsibility. Over 90% of COVID-related deaths have been among those aged 70 and over, and nearly half of all COVID deaths have been in care homes, the government says. Mr. Tegnell said his agency, Sweden's public health agency, was not responsible for directing the elderly care system, and added all stakeholders needed to help to improve the situation to make sure the elderly did not get infected. He said he thought Sweden had become better at protecting older people, and that no country had succeeded entirely in that area. Even Germany was being hit hard right now, he told Swedish radio on Wednesday. Sweden is also said to have one of the highest per capita COVID-19 death rates in the world, and has had more deaths than the rest of the Nordic countries combined. On Tuesday, Prime Minister Lofven also said he felt many experts had underestimated the second wave. Did Sweden's coronavirus strategy succeed or fail? Coronavirus, Sweden's isolated elderly urge to rejoin society. COVID, how are European countries tackling the pandemic? EU leaders isolate after Macron tests positive. French President Emmanuel Macron tests positive for COVID-19 after meeting other leaders recently. Sweden's king says coronavirus policy failed. Play Korean Lantern Festival gets UNESCO honors. Play kangaroos can communicate with humans. Emmanuel Macron, positive test prompts European leaders to self-isolate too. Pornhub sued by 40 girls do porn sex trafficking victims 5. Jeffrey Epstein ex-associate Jean-Luc Brunel held over sex crime claim 6. The BBC is not responsible for the content of external sites.